Hey everyone, this is Corinne Lafont, your favorite radio host, your only radio host, and favorite girl, of course, broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean on Between the Lines. And I always start my show off being grateful or thankful, as some people may say. I'm so thankful to be. And as I mentioned, that I can't remember if I stood up and said thank you to the universe this morning. I think I did. No, but I didn't. I didn't do it enough. So I'm going to go back and do it again. So I am saying it right now to the universe. I'm so thankful to be here. I appreciate and I adore every aspect about me. Self-love is the greatest thing. You can't love anyone if you don't love yourself first. And of course, my apologies for that. And of course, being grateful for everything. I don't want to say bad, but the good, the different, the whatever it is that's coming to you, it is meant to be. Just accept, don't resist, go with the flow, and appreciate it and ask yourself, what am I supposed to learn from this? Because there's a lesson from everything. Yeah? Put yourself in that frame of mind and you'll be in a different mindset, a different mind frame to be able to accept what comes to you. Be humble. Be a student of life. As opposed to trying to be the teacher when you really don't know anything. Yeah? So, I'm here with Becky Norwood, and we're discussing today, marketing is the key to successfully becoming an entrepreneur. And she's going to explain a bit more about that. But before I officially welcome her, let me tell you a quick bit about Becky. Becky and her team have now brought over 200 authors to #1 bestseller. Clearly, we need to connect with Becky. When she's not serving her clients, she and her lovely husband, Mark, he needs to join the show, enjoy their kids and grandkids, crafts, and spending time traveling and camping in the great outdoors. What a fun life. Welcome, Becky, to Between the Lines.
Thank you, and that was a wonderful introduction. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you. That's how I do on my show, Between the Lines. I see you have a lovely background there. Are you sitting in your living room? Or office?
It's my office, yeah.
Nice. And what is that written behind you? Something hard. I'm only seeing hard. There's a frame thing behind.
No, yeah. Right? Let me see if I can change my. Whoops. Change my. Find your tribe. Love
hard. I love that. Yes. I love that. That's nice. Find your tribe and love hard. Well, I'm my own tribe. So I'm loving that. I'm a tribe of one, yeah?
Well, and if we are a tribe of one and love ourselves, that's the biggest thing that we need to do.
Yes, because when you start loving yourself, like I mentioned earlier, of course you will attract the right type of tribe. Yeah, but you
Absolutely.
So start with you first, and then your tribe will build, and you will start attracting the people who are on the same frequency or higher, that can push you, challenge you to be better, because that's what we're here for. We're not supposed to come on this earth and leave the same way as we came in. We are supposed to evolve.
That's so very important. If we don't change, if we stay in the same place, we miss out on so much.
Yeah. So we're talking about entrepreneurs. Tell us, for those who doesn't know the term, what is an entrepreneur and why marketing is the key to successfully becoming an entrepreneur?
An entrepreneur is somebody, you can take the first part of the word, that is author. So they have written a book or many books. And preneur comes from the word entrepreneur. So they're using their book as a tool. They're treating their book as it is part of their business. And so the marketing part of it, we all know that any kind of business needs a lot of good strategies for the marketing aspect of it to make sure that a business grows. And it's the same for a book, because when I first started publishing, it's been 7 or 8 years now, maybe longer. Time goes fast. When I first started my own book, and then also the books for other individuals that wanted to be in the self-publishing world, wanted to get their heart out and share their expertise by means of a book. I was helping all of them to become #1 bestseller. I did a lot of the, getting the book edited and getting the covers beautiful, making sure the title and subtitle. But there was something missing when I first started, and that was after they became a #1 bestseller. We were finding that some of them were really disappointed at all of a sudden the book sales would dwindle, and there wasn't a lot of enthusiasm or excitement over this book after they had spent a lot of hours putting this book together. Their heart and soul goes into the contents of a book, because that is either they're sharing a very, very important story, or they're sharing their expertise in a certain field. They're using this book is very, very important to them. But we were finding that so many were walking away just going like, well, that was a lot of work and nothing. And so we started implementing a lot more marketing into it, and we start them in the marketing when the moment they contact us and say, yes, we would like your company to work with us to get our book published. And we teach them from that moment to start marketing. How do they do that? Talk about their book cover, talk about the things, the tidbits, and in your book. Use your social media to say, wow, I'm so excited. It's just so exciting that I'm finally publishing the book that I've dreamed of writing for years now. And so it starts, I always say it starts the moment you put pen to paper or start tapping those keys.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I just muted myself so that there's no background noise, and when I clear my throat. Okay. But yes, I totally agree with you. Marketing starts from the beginning, from the idea, taking people along on that journey. And I can say that because I too am into publishing. I'm a self-publishing consultant, and I've published a number of books for my clients, so I'm quite familiar with that. And actually last year, my company, the Self-Publishing University, held its first annual online conference, and it was all about marketing, which is what everybody tends to want to find out, because they want to generate sales. The second annual conference is actually happening March 31st this month, so I'll share those details with you, so you could probably share it with your network. Yeah. No. Like you mentioned, something was missing. Now, what do you find happening with authors? First, to begin, what I noticed from on my perspective is that one, they don't want to get involved in the marketing. Right. They just want to focus on writing and hand over everything else, but they want magically things to happen. Getting out of their comfort zone is another challenge for them.
Very much.
The financial investment to get it done is another challenge for them. They did not prepare for that.
Right.
Yeah. How do you work around that and helping persons to become a bestseller?
We work with them like I mentioned before, we work with them from the very start, and we talk about your book is your business. And we teach them through the whole process how, even for when that book is ready to be published, after we've worked all the stages with them of the editing, the formatting, the book covers, all of this, and also looking at their book as that tool that will lead to maybe a course that they teach, or maybe some 10 tips, so it's a list building type of thing. So they use the book in a very, very important way. So it's not just a book that says, I do this and this is how you should do this, and telling a story and whatever, but it also weaves in within the pages of the book. It also weaves in ways that people can connect with them. And we use a lot of video links, QR codes in the book, so that marketing piece of not only are they reading the book, if they're really interested in what's in the book, not only are they reading the book, but they're also pushing the link to watch a video and getting the flavor of who you are as a person. And for most of our authors, initially, they're very hesitant over that because they're writing. They don't look at their thoughts or thinking that it's going to be magical that they published a book. But there's over 1 million books being published every year in the United States alone. How does your book going to be found? unless you're doing some of the marketing. So we start talking to them about branding themselves as an author. We start talking about using their social media, whatever their social, and we create a page for your book in each of your social medias. Get yourself established and brand yourself, not as the author that you are, but brand yourself with incorporating it within the business that you have. So it becomes, we talk about, for their book launch, we do a pre-launch and a launch, and in that process of that, we teach them how to build a launch team and how to get the reviews well before the actual book launch happens, and then how to weave all of that they've done, because the time frame, it's not a fast time frame for book publishing. There's plenty of gurus out there that say you can write your book in a weekend or in 3 months or whatever. I feel that it takes so much more than that to really be successful.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you mentioned time frame. Now, persons who are writers, authors want to get everything done quickly. What is the kind of time frame that you would give to an author in terms of marketing to really see some type of results?
We talk about most of our authors are kind of on a 6 month. I have a few that are a couple of years, mostly because life has happened and they weren't able to continue on, and then they come back to it. But for the most part, it's 3 to 6 months, and I like to see more of the 6 months because we had all the branding. There's press releases, there's videos that need to be done, there's book trailers that need to be done. There's a lot of detail with the big picture of, is it just the book that you want, or do you want to build a course behind that book, or are you going to be speaking on platforms? How are you going to grow this? Are you going to seek out opportunities to get exposure and connect with other leaders in your field? How do you want this to grow? And we find that our authors, since we started implementing all of these pieces, they're happier. They're coming back to us with their next books. They're excited, and their businesses are growing incredibly. It's just been really, really fun.
Yes, I like what you're saying, and it resonates with me because that's exactly the type of approach I use with my clients as well. You come with an idea with a book, and it can be repurposed into so many things, and it is a business. Your book is a ticket. It's like your business card into so many other opportunities. It can turn into a film, a play, you can make money from it depending on the type of book that it is. You can have speaking engagements, you can create courses. I mean, there's so many things. And most of the time, Becky, these authors don't think of that. They don't have that kind of image vision in their head. They just think, oh, I just want to publish this book and put it out there and people buy it, whatever. But they're not thinking so far-fetched. They're not thinking, these are and they are overwhelmed when I start talking to them about these, the possibilities. They're like, whoa, hold up, I didn't think of all of that,
Yeah. Well, when you look at the number of books that are being published right now, and then look at, I've watched, especially when I first started working with other authors, I've watched their book sales soar when we're, doing the launch, and then just plummet back down, and they're saying, well, why my book isn't selling? Well, how do they expect it to be found unless they're doing some of the marketing? And some of it is it doesn't have to be all consuming. It just needs to be that it's consistent, and that your branding makes you recognizable, just like with Coca-Cola or any of those kind of major brands. We recognize the brand. Well, if you brand yourself, it's recognizable. And as you grow and establish your expertise, I also know that when you're speaking on stages and looking for opportunities, even the libraries and bookstores will welcome, especially local authors, to come in and speak. It's a great opportunity. And the offline, we think of the online world and the social medias and the branding and all the other many things that we can do, but the offline sales are often much more productive, and you make more money with your offline sales.
That's right.
By speaking and selling at events and looking for those wonderful opportunities to gain more exposure, connect with other thought leaders in your field, generate leads from it. These are the things. And even we just published a children's book. And we talked to her extensively when we first started. This is a business. You know, just because you publish a book isn't going to mean that this book is going to be found. Her book was incredible. It was a gorgeous book. She had all the drawings hand drawn by an artist, but it was on children with heart conditions and their first time going to a doctor to find out what's wrong with their heart. And she made it, in the page, she uses a bear to kind of get the story out there, but she explained what all those machines are in child's language. And it made it so much better for the parents, because the parents were scared too, you know. But now she's going to the cardiologist, she's going to, you know, especially the children's, in the field for children's cardiologists, and she's going to the parents, and her book tells her she's speaking, she's doing a lot of other things, and it's all for the purpose of that book, and she's doing amazingly well.
Fabulous. It's great to hear stories like that. You know, what I'm thinking is, everybody thinks that once you publish a book, automatically you want to become a bestseller because you want to have that title, that status attached to you. Is it a good thing to really become a bestseller? How do you sustain that? Because it's not a matter of just a overnight thing, a one-time something. You want it to be consistent and continuous, let's say over a 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Or like I would say to clients, even though you may not maintain the #1 spot, because you may reach there quickly the first time you do your campaigns, etc., but it may not be sustainable over a year, 2 years, 3 years. But if you maintain that, if you maintain being in the top 10 or the top 5, depending on the categories that you're in, then that is sustainable. That is more realistic. But
it is.
Coming back to my point, why try to attain a #1 bestseller position or title? Why is it there's so much pressure? Why would somebody want to do that? Why is that something you promise your authors?
No, I never promise it, but I have been able to do that. And I think it's more of the recognition, because they can actually have a bestseller seal put on the front cover. It's kind of, I always tell them, you know, it's kind of like that diploma that hangs on the back of, you know, when you're speaking with a lot of
Yes.
especially authors, you'll see a diploma. Maybe they graduated, they had a MBA, or, you know, they've got their degrees on the wall behind them. And I said, if you never did anything with the field of study that you got your degree in, how much, it's just kind of a badge of honor that you have it, but it's not, and it's just a piece of paper.
That's right. Do you know, I've never framed my degrees and hung them up. I'm just not that type of person. To have these things just portrayed all over I really don't. I actually have it in some sort of jacket, something that is just there if I need to pull it out. I'm not into those things. But you know, you would walk into people's offices, for example, doctors and stuff, and you know, they have to have that because they know, I guess, the audience, their target audience, their clients would obviously be looking for that. But how many people really pay attention? I think the more qualified thing is persons who may refer you, who have had a great experience. You know, word of mouth carries more weight than that paper sticking on the wall.
Well, that's one of the things that we encourage, and we do with our method of doing a bestseller launch. We start a week earlier when everything's ready. They've already got the book in hand, and they're preparing for this book launch. It's the excitement that goes with it. It's the camaraderie that they have built over the time of building their launch teams. And with that, I lost my train of thought. With that, though, what is interesting is, we work with, before the book even launches, is those reviews and getting those reviews, because people are going to see those reviews. And, you know, when we go to a hotel, when we're going to buy a product that we really are interested in, we look at the reviews and see what's being said. Those reviews are paramount and key to even the findability. You know, when we find a book on a certain subject, because you know, the publishing houses, like with Amazon, with YouTube, with all of these, they're the major search engines, and Amazon has become a search engine for people.
Of course.
And so when you see a book that's up and it's got a lot of great reviews, it's got a few maybe not so good reviews, typically we encourage our authors to look at those reviews, every one of them, and learn from that. And often the not so great reviews are not, they're not to be viewed as, well, I'm hurt, whatever, that really bothers me that they gave me a bad review, but it could be the basis for the next book that comes along, because they may be, well, they didn't go deep enough into this, you know, this, something like that. But truly, a bestseller launch is mostly just to get that book out there and launched, and to get the excitement rolling around it. Sustaining it is almost impossible with the number of books that are being published, and it's not the key area. So the marketing is something that is continuous. It goes on and on and on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The bestseller launch is kind of that big burst, just like maybe a wedding, or, you know, or a big graduation. It's that burst of accomplishment that is wonderful, but it's also, it's the work afterwards is what leads to the success.
That's right. Is the work afterwards, that sustenance, that maintenance, keeping up with the image, the branding, and stuff like that. Even those authors who are bestsellers, you know, Jack Canfield and the rest of them, they can't maintain this thing all along, but their name is known after a while, because you really do it to get your name out there, people to associate a certain credibility with you, and to also create opportunities, for you to open new doors, for people to call you for speaking engagements, etc.
Yes, and I actually had, I did a bestseller launch for a lady last year, and her book was When Death Comes Knocking on Your Door, and it was for palliative caregivers, for people that were in the nursing field, that their job was to work with the families of people that were dying. And her book was amazing, because she was a nurse in that field for many, many years, and she talks about dancing on your patient's dance floor, and how so many of the new nurses coming in do not understand that, you know, kind of wrestle with that, because they haven't been taught the same human connection as many of the older nurses had experienced. And so she was trying to give that, and so her book got found. She's speaking on many, many stages, but some of the major nursing colleges are making her book required reading. Wow. And so it was, and the stories in it wasn't like an instructional book, it was the stories is what they were after. And her perspective on keeping the humanness in the nursing part, instead of just, you know, well, this is the things I'm supposed to do when I'm a nurse, you know? Yeah. And so some of the colleges in the nursing field, they were doing amazing things, and would buy boxes and boxes of the book, and make sure that was a subject of conversation for their students.
Wow, amazing! It's really the story. Stories sell. It's always about the stories being. It is. You know, just relating your experience, because it connects with another human being. But what you're saying is absolutely correct. Your book is the business. You know, you are the business, because you represent the book. Your name is on that cover. You know, it's connected. It's awesome what you're doing, trying to help authors to see that, because I too am trying on my end to be able to help them to see that as well, and to take it as seriously, because you put in blood, sweat, and tears and money into this. You really want to give it the best shot. You really want to push it, and and have a legacy. I mean, if you know, and impact other people's lives. It's not for you. When you write a book, it's not for you, you know. It's really for other people. It's not for you.
Right.
You're writing it. You're the instrument. You're the conduit in order for it to be poured out. But it's not about you. It's
No,
who it can impact.
and it's the stories that our hearts connect with. It's the story. So if you weave storytelling into what you're writing, it's not all fact, it's not all just instruction type of thing. It's incorporating the stories that reaches the hearts of the right people. And it is not about you. It's about who you're trying to reach. It's about your calling, your mission. It's about everything that we can do to make a difference in our world.
I love that. Making a difference in somebody else's life.
Right.
That's what books are about, because we grew up on books, Becky. We have read books that we can say this particular book, of all the books we have read, really changed my life. You know, and the one book that did it for me when I was probably, teenage years, first book I ever got, it was a prize going to school. I will never forget it, The Power of Positive Thinking by Reverend Norman Vincent Peale. I will never forget that book. I bought another copy because I can't find the first copy. And then the other copy was left in Jamaica, where I was living for 21 years. So I have to get clearly another copy here. I'm in Trinidad now. So, you know, there are some books that really impact your life. That book really changed my perspective, my thinking. If anybody has read that book, they would understand what I'm saying. And if you haven't, you need to get a copy. Becky, I want to hop over to your website. Give me your website. Hold on one second. Let me see if I could bring up the page. Yes, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Okay, it's spotlightonyourbusiness.com. It's got we're revamping it right now, so it's a little bit in disarray, but you can still get a lot of good information off of it.
Don't worry about it.
You know, I wanted to circle back around with a thought. Is when I first learned about self-publishing and what we could do, and which really opened a lot of doors for a lot of people, is that I wrote my own story. It's called The Woman I Love. And I grew up in a family where there was incredible abuse. And it colored my world for a very long time. You know, I had bouts of depression. I had a lot of really tough times. And what I did in writing that book, and this is what I want to express to the listeners, is as I wrote the book, it became a healing type of thing that happened for me. But also in the writing of the book, because I applied all these things that I did, I had such a huge following. Looks like my website isn't connecting right, but I had a lot of people reach out to me and say thank you, because what I discovered in the writing of it and then the publishing of it, it released it out to the universe. It was no longer had a hold on me, but I also impacted other people's lives to realize they were not the only ones that had something like that happen, and that they could rise above it and could choose to thrive and be happy.
That's right. The other option is just to throw up your hands, give up and die. And that ain't the way to go. So,
no, it is not.
It is not. There's no benefit from that. You know, we're not saying that it's going to be easy, but hey, and then sharing your story, there's somebody there that's going through the same or worse. And just getting their hands on your book will be able to give somebody hope. And that person may be able to reach out to you, which is what books do. Reach out to you to say, hey, I read your book. Your book really inspired me to move on. And there's no amount of money that you can be paid for that, you know, Becky. When somebody reaches out to you to say your book, you know, impacted my life, it changed my life. I changed my mind about committing suicide. I changed my mind about, you know, doing this or doing that. I thank you. That's all you need, you know.
For me, that was amazing. And what happened after that was there were 2 books that I did after that. And in these 2 books, they were called We Choose to Thrive. Mm-hmm. And they were 50 women in those 2 books that for the first time in their lives, they shared their stories.
Wow.
And what the impact of that was so amazing, because I have watched some of these women that for the first time shared their stories in just a chapter of the book go on to be coaches and go on to do amazing, amazing things in the world. Because of the first time of letting it go and letting it out to the universe, and it diffused it, and they've gone on and done amazing things.
I think it's selfish when you keep your story to yourself, because we have a responsibility to, people think, oh, I don't want anybody to know my business. You need people to know your business, because there's somebody out there who needs to hear it, know how you survived it, how you, the struggles you went through, what was going through your mind, what you thought of doing. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
You know, we need to stop being selfish. I'm on your website here.
Stories.
Yeah, I'm on your website here now, Becky. I want you to kind of do a little quick tour as we're rounding up the episode.
It's funny because on my computer, all the words that were supposed to be in the spotlight are right in the center of the spotlight. It shows different on yours, and that's good to know, because
yes,
you can see
shining the spotlight on your business. Yes, yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
So if you scroll down, you should be able to scroll down, and this is kind of, each one of these link in the start here. Do you know your why? Why are you saying, sharing your story? And it keeps scrolling. And then we have an Insider's Buzz Club. We're actually, this doesn't link to anything quite yet, because we're still working on it. But it is a way to, it's actually a social media type of platform, and it works on a point system that the more you share other, like we have a lot of authors, the more they share about their book launches or their courses and everything else, it works by points, and then they get free days where all of us share out to all of our tribes and our people that follow us. So that's what the Insider's Buzz Club is, and it's very powerful because it gets a lot of exposure. This is just a few of the books that we've published, and when you click on Step Inside, it takes you to quite a few more, and I have not got them all up there, but you can see the variety that of the types of books that are being published here. A huge variety. And then this one goes into the types of packages that we have. Further down is the course, where we also have courses that we've put together. One is called Your Journey to Authorship. The other is Your Book is Your Business. And then then as you scroll down below that, what others are saying is from some of our authors, and then it will link into more of what others are saying. This is, as you scroll down, it's also myself and my partner, and so that links over to the page that describes about us and what our passion, what we're up to. And then I think below that shows some of our team that we're working with, because what we've done is we have an amazing team of people, and we're just kind of completing this section. For instance, Sue teaches, she's an affiliate. We do affiliate marketing mixed in. So Sue teaches about how to use video in your marketing. Erin is a wonderful podcast artist, just like yourself, and we may want to include you on this. John Mahoney does audiobooks. We have somebody that teaches Facebook ads. Charmaine Hammond does sponsorships. RJ does the messenger bots, and we have somebody doing helping people get their own television station with it's kind of like Netflix for entrepreneurs. That's what Ari does. A great website person, speaking skills. So there's just a lot of people we affiliate with that will help authors in their more advanced marketing. And then our blog posts. So it's kind of, it's still, our website is changing. We've just started some major changes on it, and it's not all completed, but that gives you an idea of what we have to offer.
Awesome. I think you have an awesome team, and I would love for you to reach out to me, like you mentioned, to even be a part of that and see what I can contribute, as well as connect with members of your team to help my authors as well, especially.
I would make. Yeah. I know of one thing that you would just be amazed by it, and I think you would be the perfect fit for. So I'll email you about that because it's
That
on.
is awesome. That is
Yeah,
awesome. I look forward to that. I look forward to working with you and the rest of the team. That is awesome.
awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool.
But I thank you so much. I mean, you're doing a fabulous job, helping authors and helping them to understand to become entrepreneurs. Yeah. Just like how they have fempreneurs and all sorts of preneurs, we're blending the words together. Yeah. So it's wonderful what you're doing. And I mean, it resonates with me because we're in the same industry. So we do speak the same language. And I think if more and more persons stop being selfish, and I'm not meaning that in a negative way, but stop holding on to experiences and challenges that they have been through. It doesn't matter how minor, major, or in between it is. Just share your story. It will have an impact on one person. You don't want to reach the millions. You just want one. And that one will impact another one, will impact another one, and so it goes. Don't try to think, I'm going to become a millionaire overnight. I'm going to, I'm going to be a bestseller overnight. Oh, the movie people are going to be coming to me, the paparazzi, banging on my door, the contracts. It's great to have that vision, and I'm not stopping anybody from thinking that way. But I just want you to take it one at a time and be thankful for the little baby step progress that you make, and just keep prodding along. Yeah. So
It's beautiful.
yeah. So with your company, and I mean, when we collaborate, I think it will be a great fit, and we can reach even more people.
I think that's key. I think that this world, there's room for all of us. I think there is absolutely no competition. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as collaboration is so vital to success.
Of course.
And if we collaborate and support each other, that's what the whole idea is with bringing in those experts in their own fields, with those that we have affiliate links to that you saw on the website. It's because there's no way I'm going to try to be the expert in all things.
No way. You cannot be everything to everyone. You
No.
cannot be everything. You specialize in a particular area, leave the rest to somebody else.
Right. So we're bringing in people that can help our authors to expand out. And so not only does it benefit our author, it benefits those that are teaching that, because it brings them clients that maybe they would have never met before.
Exactly.
And it's just when you have that giving attitude, just like with this conversation, we're in the same, we do the same things, but it's that collaboration and that support of each other that takes us so much further.
That's right. And technology helps to bridge that gap. Becky, oh my goodness, this has been a wonderful conversation. We have gone over time. That's fine. I appreciate your wisdom. I appreciate you sharing, and I just appreciate you for the work that you're doing in the publishing industry.
Thank you. And I
thank you so much.
Appreciate you too.
Yes, thank you so much for being on Between the Lines.
Awesome. Thank you.